What is going on, everybody? PHXGaming here. Thank you for stopping by, and today we are going to go over the Title Update 10 patch notes. So these patch notes are pretty lengthy, but we know we're going to get right into it. I'm only going to hit some very huge key pointers. I will leave a link to the patch notes down in the description and in the comment section below. So without further ado, let's get started. These are preliminary patch notes, and changes may still happen until the launch of Title Update 10, which is going to happen tomorrow during the regular maintenance. So 12:30 Pacific time, 1:30 Mountain Standard Time, and then 3:30 Eastern Time for everyone that lives here in the US. So to start off, new senior Keener's Legacy. A new season is almost upon us, starting on June 23rd, not July 23rd. Keener's Legacy offers 12 weeks of in-game activities and unique rewards. Season 2 brings a new seasonal manhunt, new leagues, a new global event, and new unique rewards, as well as an apparel event. So we've got our 5 Rogue Agent manhunt, and then we've got to bring them all down to get the new healing trap skill variant. We've got a new global event called Hollywood, a new apparel event called Phoenix Down, new leagues, Termite, Luna, Huntsman, and Titan, new rewards, 2 new exotics, 1 new gear set, 2 new named weapons, 2 new named gear, and 1 new brand set. Participating in the activities above will earn player season experience, contributing to their season level. Playing Conflict will contribute XP by gaining conflict levels beyond 30. And then we've got Playing in the Dark Zone will contribute XP by gaining DZ levels beyond 30. We have our new raid coming up on June 30th. The True Sons, Operation Iron Horse, have taken over a foundry to develop new weapons and threaten to destroy everything the division has worked for. We're going to have new bosses, puzzles, and rewards. The level 40 version will be available again on June 30th, followed the next week by the level 30 version. Discovery mode will become available at a later date. We've got our unique rewards, the 2 new exotics, Ravenous and Regulus, 2 new gear sets, Foundry Bulwark and Future Initiative, and then we've got the new cosmetic rewards. Further details will become available closer to the raid's release in late June. So now into the actual Title Update 10 patch notes. We got the balance and bug fixes. Title Update 10 is bringing our first large balance pass following the release of Warlords of New York. Beyond the addition of new content, the update focuses on 3 main aspects, mainly game health through bug fixes and balancing generosity by increasing our chances to receive high quality item as loot, and increasing overall player power. Scroll down for a full list of bug fixes, balance changes, and gameplay tweaks. Again, the missing localized audio. This isn't an issue for the True Sons Operation Iron Horse. We will have the audio there in different languages, but until then, the regular audio for other languages is not going to be available in game. So to begin, we got the new exotics. We have the Mantis, the SRS Sniper Rifle, we got the Vile Mask, which are part of the season exotics, and then we've got the Ravenous Double Barrel Rifle Operation Iron Horse, and then we got the Magnum Pistol Regulus. Out of all these exotics, Mantis and Regulus are the 2 I would highly recommend you try and grind for, only because the Regulus has this insane amount of damage when you do headshots with a specific build, and doing that 5-meter explosion, dealing 400% weapon damage and applying bleed to all enemies does do some significant work. The Mantis, amplified by 50% when the enemies are not targeting you, and using the decoy skill, and that decoy skill constantly being refreshed on cooldown whenever you eliminate an NPC. It's going to be very powerful. So with the changes to legendary missions and farming and loot quality, Mantis is something you're definitely going to want to have on hand if you are a dedicated sniper headshot hunter. So for the new gear sets, we got Eclipse Protocol Season 2. This is a skill tier yellow. We got 50% status effects, 15% skill haste, and 30% hazard protection. 4 pieces indirect transmission. Your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 15 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. Proliferation is indirect transmission range from 15 to 20 and refresh percentage from 50 to 75%. Backpack Talent System Aggravator amplifies all damage you deal to status affected targets by 15%. Foundry Bulwark Operation Iron Horse. Core is a blue, 10% for 2-piece armor, 3% armor regeneration, 4 makeshift repairs. Whenever you or your shield take damage, 20% of that amount is repaired to both over 15 seconds. The Chest Talent Process Refinery increases makeshift repairs from 20% to 30% over 15 seconds. And then the Backpack Talent Improved Materials increases makeshift repairs from 15 to 10 seconds. The Future Initiative, skill tier yellow, 2 pieces 30% repair skills, 3 piece 30% skill duration, and 50% skill haste. 4 ground control increases you and your ally's total weapon and skill damage by 15% when at full armor. When you repair an ally, you and all allies within 5 meters of you are also repaired for 60% of that amount. The chest talent, tactical superiority, increases ground control damage bonus from 50% to 25%, and then the backpack talent, advanced combat tactics, increases ground control proximity repair from 60% to 120%. So with Foundry Bulwark and Feature Initiative, the gear sets are going to be in the open world loot pool. So as soon as Title Update 10 drops, you will be able to farm for Foundry Bulwark and Feature Initiative. However, the chest and the backpack talents and pieces are only going to be in Operation Iron Horse for the time being. So just keep that in mind. You can still get your 4-piece Bulwark or 4-piece Feature Initiative, which I highly recommend you get because you're going to need that tank and that healer possibly for Operation Iron Horse. Again, with the leak that happened a while ago, we don't really know what Operation Iron Horse is going to entail, but if it is somewhat close to what the leak has said, then yeah, you're going to want to have a tank build for Foundry Bulwark. You're definitely going to want to have a healer for Feature Initiative, especially for the hazard protection that we might or might not have needed for Operation Iron Horse. So just keep that in mind. I would recommend that you run and grab Feature Initiative first, get the pieces that you want, and start speccing it out to become a healer for the next 2 weeks. Our new gear brand is the Walker Harrison Co. It's a DPS core, 5% weapon damage, 5% damage to armor, and the 5% damage to health. The new named weapons we've got are Mechanical Animals, Feature Perfect. This is your hybrid rifle, so you can run a 3 skill tier because with the talents on this, you'll be able to stack up to 3 times for skills, and then once you are at skill tier 6, you'll get that overcharge for 15 seconds. Harmony is another hybrid DPS and skill. With Perfectly in Sync, hitting an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds, and then using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 20% weapon damage for 5 seconds. Damage increases are doubled while both buffs are active at the same time. So if you have hitting an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 20, and then damaging an enemy with a skill 20% weapon damage, you'll get that to 40% damage for skills and your weapon. So these two were very fun to use during the PTS. I would highly recommend you grab a 5.56 and a Mark 47. The new name gear, Matador Walker Harrison Co. with Perfect Adrenaline Rush. Gain 23% bonus armor for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. And then you got the Chain Killer Walker Harrison Co. chest with Perfect Headhunter. Your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals 150% of that killing blow's damage. In addition to it, damage is capped to 800% of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1,250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150%. New skill variant, Repair Trap. The Repair Trap deploys a line of small devices capable of repairing friendlies in their proximity. The Repair Trap will not be available in-game until the seasonal prime target unlocks in August. New talents, Feature Perfect. Again, that's the 3 times stacks for skill tier in sync. That is the skill damage and weapon damage buffs. Adrenaline Rush, that's your bonus armor. And then Headhunter is your headshot damage. Gameplay changes, missions. Reduced how many elites will spawn in the following missions: Manning National Zoo, Coney Island Ballpark, Coney Island Amusement Park, Camp White Oak, Space Admin HQ, Federal Emergency Bunker, Wall Street, Liberty Island, Pathway Park, Stranded Tanker, and the Tombs. So now these missions should be a little easier. That way they don't have as much elites NPCs, so they should be much more viable and easier to farm and run. The loot, General added all new Season 2 weapons and gear to general loot pools. Item power, updated item power distribution to have a better spread between minimum and maximum for all difficulties. Increased minimum rolled item power for field proficiency, DZ caches, clan caches, and season caches. Difficulty scaling, regular loot from loot containers and missions now scale with mission difficulty. Targeted loot from loot containers and missions now scales with mission difficulty, and then loot containers part of living world activities now scale with global difficulty. Targeted loot, increased targeted loot drop chances for all mission and control point difficulties. Added new Season 2 brands to targeted loot rotation, and the Warlords of New York brands can now also show up as targeted loot in DC and Dark Zones. Named items, increased named item drop chance of regular Dark Zone loot. Increased named item drop chance and targeted loot everywhere. Exotics, added Warlords of New York Season 1 exotics, excluding the Bighorn to targeted loot. Added Warlords of New York Season 1 exotics, excluding the Bighorn to general exotic loot pools, heroic, legendary, raid, and exotic cache. Coyote's mass drop from Coyote no longer has a minimum season level requirement. Control points removed regular weapon gear loot containers not scaling with difficulty from control points. Increase the amount of scaling loot from the big control point reward container. So that big yellow container, you're going to have all of your loot come from there now, and it's going to be scaled to if you're running a challenging or a heroic control point. Legendary, increased NPC loot drop chance for veterans and elites on legendary difficulty. So now with all the changes to loot in general, with the difficulty scaling, you're gonna want to start farming legendary missions for your guard rolls, for all of your named items, for every piece of gear that you want, and to become that much powerful in the game, you're gonna want to start running legendaries. The easiest legendary that I would farm and that I recommend is District Union Arena, because it's really straightforward. It's very easy to do. You could do it solo. It just might take you a little time and a little getting used to the enemies and how they react, but it's gonna be your go-to to farming for exotics, for farming for loot, for farming the bighorn if you still don't have it. That's gonna be the easiest one to do. So legendaries are viable now. They're going to give you the best chance at getting god rolls. They're going to give you the best chance at a high quality loot. Crafting will now guarantee a higher minimum item power, resulting in higher overall stat rolls. An increased maximum item power also allows for better crafted items than before. The added weighting between the minimum and maximum power results in a more balanced average outcome for crafted and reconfigured items. Remove Final World Tier 5 crafting bench upgrade, as its power increase is now redundant. Vendors will now sell named items to both open world and dark zones. For that, the prices of named items have increased, and the increased item power for all vendors, and that you will no longer see superior quality items at max level. So at level 40, you will see nothing but gold. Shade levels will get our field proficiency caches after reaching the maximum season level, not after your actual 1000 shade level. After you reach the season level, you will start receiving field proficiency caches. And then you'll get increased crafting material rewards for spending shade level points in the scavenging category. Conflict added season, shade experience gain on conflict level up. Rogue agent encounters, rogue agents will now drop loot. Rogue agent encounters will no longer occur during the time trial, so during the league events, you will no longer run into the rogue agent encounters, which did kind of cause some issues when running those time trials to get the best time. Control point officers will now revive 80% of your armor, and then reduce the likelihood of those control point officers being down in combat. Bounties have been changed. Bounties are going to be much more viable now. Bounties acquired by speaking to characters in the open world will always be set to the difficulty at time of acquisition or higher. This affects the snitch of civilians, rescue during the public execution, or rescue living world activities. Scheduled bounties such as daily and clan bounties are unaffected. So when you are on a heroic setting, if your global setting is heroic, you're going to get heroic bounties. If it's on challenging, you'll get challenging bounties, so on and so forth. Projects, we've got 3 new projects going on. We've got the new season pass holder project slot. We'll have exclusive daily mission, which provides a large bonus to XP. This should help bridge the gap between people that are below the 1000 and who are at the 1000. Hopefully that bonus XP will actually boost them pretty high. Weekly shade requisition project slot. Endgame players at world tier 5 and level 40 now have a weekly supplies donation project, which rewards them with an exotic cache. Legendary mission project. After TU10, completing any legendary mission will grant you the weekly legendary mission project slot. Completing the designated legendary mission will reward you with an exotic cache. So now that we have the changes to exotics, and I believe that the components have been increased for the amounts of rerolls to 2, we're going to have a lot of more viable ways of getting exotics to get those components for the crafting station. So we're going to have the legendary mission to grant us for the exotic caches. We're going to have projects to grant us exotic caches, and then don't forget, you also have your season caches that have the exotic caches attached to them, and then you've got the generosity of the loot pool now, and all the loot, the exotic loot now in the open world except for the bighorn. So we have enough ways to get exotics that should help bridge the gap between how many exotics components that we need in order to reroll our exotic weapons. The RPG balance, we all know about the incoming repairs, has been nerfed. It no longer increases the amount of armor repaired by armor kits, talents, or gear sets. So it's just going to repair what it is. It's not going to increase the amount of repair by you get from armor kits or talents. Weapon handling has been changed. You'll get 1% weapon accuracy, weapon handling, which includes accuracy, stability, reload speed, and swap speed. But it has been reduced to a maximum of 8% at level 40. So the god roll for weapon handling on your piece of gear is going to be 8%. But you can always stack for weapon handling, because the gear set bonuses, the brand set bonuses are going to have like 10% weapon handling. But so you can stack that weapon handling now, and this is to make sure that weapon handling doesn't become too overpowered or not the meta, because this is going to take like the accuracy and stability, swap and reload, and combine them all into one. So it makes sense. Talent changes: leadership, bonus armor increased to 15% from 12. Spike, skill damage duration increased to 15 seconds from 8. Reformation, skill repair duration increased to 15 seconds from 8. Creeping Death no longer goes on cooldown if there are no valid nearby enemies to apply status effect to. Status effects applied now properly copy the source status effects damage and duration. PvP, we've got the global damage modifiers, reduced all PvP weapon damage by minus 20%. MMR PvP weapon damage, increased it by 12.5%, reduced assault rifle PvP by negative 15%, shotgun PvP by negative 12.5%, reduced SMG PvP by negative 10%, pistol negative 10%, and then rifle negative 5%. Specific damage modifiers: increased double barrel shotgun PvP by 16.6%, reduced pestilence PvP by negative 10%, and then reduced classic M1A by negative 5%. Merciless and Ruthless has been nerfed by negative 50% in PvP. And then Imperial Dynasty requires a line of sight for 3 seconds between the holster bearer and nearest enemy before applying burn status effect. Pestilence, Plague of Outcast damage over time effect no longer triggers True Patriot's white debuff armor repair effect. So that issue with True Patriot has been fixed regarding PvP and PvE. Gear set modifiers: Negotiator's Dilemma, reduce the range at which marked targets can damage each other when critically hit. PvP only. Added visual UI feedback when in range of another marked target. Talent modifiers: reduce specialization armor kit bonus from 100 to 50. Versatile, reduce the amplified weapon damage bonus for SMGs and shotguns from 35 to 25, but the UI will still show the old duration and will be fixed on a later update. Skill modifiers: Pulse now correctly reveals and highlights all the players in the DZ, not just hostiles and rogues. Increased striker drone damage by 30%, increased assault turret damage by 55%, reduced firestarter chem launcher by negative 20, reduced bleed damage by 75%, but increased the stinger hide damage by 20%, scaling up to 55% at skill tier 6. And now we have all of the weapon balances. These are all the same balances as it was in the PTS. So if you saw the PTS 10 patch notes, these are all remaining the same. Again, I'll leave a link to these patch notes here. That way you can take a look at the weapon balance, because it is a lot of changes. There's some significant ones, but everything still is remaining the same. Exotic changes. Again, all the exotics have been either buffed or nerfed in certain aspects for them. A lot of them have their optics removed from specific like stabilities, but has also but those certain mods have been replaced by weapon handling mods. The Bighorn has been increased damage, Eagle Bear increased damage. New exotic functions regarding the Bighorn with the headshot damage. So definitely take a look at the exotic changes. I'm not going to go over all of them. There's just a lot that has been changed with them, and we are going pretty over on time with the patch notes here already. So definitely take a look at the different exotic changes. This includes the weapons and the gear set changes as well. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot going on right now. For the brand set changes, I'll go over those. Increased one-piece repair skills with the Alp Summit armament from 15 to 20%. Murakami Industries 2-piece repair skills from 15 to 20. 3-piece repair skills from Richter and Kaiser 15 to 20. Incoming repairs brand set from 15 to 20. Providence Defense 1-piece headshot 10 to 15. Iraldi Holdings 2-piece headshot 10 to 15. Grupo Sombra 3-piece headshot 10 to 15. Overlord Armaments 2-piece accuracy bonus 10 to 20. Douglas and Harding 2-piece stability 10 to 20. 3-piece accuracy 10 to 20. And the Fenris Group AB reload 10 to 20. Stability 10 to 20. The specialization changes: gunner specialization and placement talent. Weapon handling bonus reduced from 15% to 10%. The UI will incorrectly say still adds 15% weapon handling. This will be fixed in a future update. And then we have a bunch of skill changes here. Cluster Secret Mine targeting actually has been improved. Stinger Hive base damage again has been reduced negative 20%, but the skill tiers have been increased from 10 to 20%. Chem Launcher Riot Foam bonus skill tier reduced from 20 to 10. UI has been updated to clarify for the Reinforcer Chem Launcher that the initial heal only affects allies and not the skill user. Firefly duration bonus per skill tier reduced from 20 to 10. Firefly base blind duration reduced from 6 to 5 seconds, and then Firefly cooldown that begins after the end of the effect. Banshee Pulse cooldown increased from 20 to 30 seconds. Banshee Pulse base confuse duration reduced from 5 seconds to 4 seconds, and then we got the Gemmer Pulse base disrupt duration reduced from 4 seconds to 3. Shock Trap base shock duration reduced from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. PvP duration remains unchanged. Shock Trap base radius decreased from 2 to 2.5 meters, and then when the active duration ends, its cooldown is refunded in equal number of seconds that it was active. So again, we go into a lot of detail about all the changes that were made regarding the CC effects and why they changed the way CC does work. And then we also have the bug fixes down here below. It's a lot of bug fixes, a ton of bug fixes here. So definitely take a look at the patch notes. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. What are you most looking forward to in Title Update 10? Do you think it's going to be a game changer for the Division 2? Do you think it's going to bring the Division 2 up to where it needs to be? Definitely let me know. Again, I'll leave the link for the patch notes in the description and in the comment section below. And I definitely want to hear your thoughts. So hit me up, drop your comments below. Let me know what's going on and what your thoughts are on the Title Update 10 patch notes. For all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I know it was lengthy. I know this is one of the longer Title Update 10s, but it has been in the making. For all the new subscribers, thank you for taking the time to hit that subscribe button and watching this patch notes Title Update 10. And then for anyone that found this channel, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications for more Division 2 content. I look forward to getting to know you and meeting you guys. And again, you guys make this channel, you make it for what it's worth by liking, disliking, sharing, and rating the videos. So I have a lot of respect for every single one of you guys on this channel. And other than that, guys, remember, Title Update 10 is tomorrow, 12:30 Pacific, 1:30 Mountain, and then 3:30 Eastern Standard. And then other than that, guys, I have nothing else further. I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Take care.